Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rapper. Still reading the Quran. "54. And the king said, Bring him to me. I will appoint him exclusively for myself. And when he spoke to them, he said, Indeed, you are today established in position and trusted. 55. Joseph said, Appoint me over the storehouses of the land. Indeed, I will be a knowing guardian. 56. And thus we established Joseph in the land to settle therein wherever he willed. We touch with our mercy whom we will, and we do not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good. 57. And the reward of the hereafter is better for those who believed and were fearing Allah. 58. And the brothers of Joseph came seeking food, and they entered upon him, and he recognized them, but he was to them unknown. 59. And when he had furnished them with their supplies, he said, Bring me a brother of yours from your father. Do you not see that give full measure, and that I am the best of the accommodators? 60. But if you do not bring him to me, no measure will there be hereafter for you from me, nor will you approach me. 61. They said, We will attempt to dissuade his father from keeping him, and indeed we will do it. 62. And Joseph said to his servants, Put their merchandise into their saddlebags so that they might recognize it when they have gone back to the people, that perhaps they will again return. 63. So when they returned to their father, they said, our father, further measure has been denied to us. So send us our brother, that we will be given measure, and indeed we will be his guardians. 64. He said, Should I entrust you with him except under coercion, as I entrusted you with his brother before? But Allah is the best guardian, and he is the most merciful of the merciful. Footnotes. Due to the change in his appearance over the years, i.e. Benjamin, who had been kept at home by his father Jacob, the goods which they had brought to the trade for food supplies. 65. And when they opened their baggage, they found their merchandise returned to them. They said, O our father, what more could we desire? This is our merchandise returned to us, and we will obtain supplies, i.e. food for our family, and protect our brother, and obtain an increase of a camel's load. That is an easy measurement. 66. Jacob said, Never will I send him with you until you give me a promise, i.e. oath by Allah, that you will bring him back to me, unless you should be surrounded, i.e. overcome by enemies. And when they had given their promise, he said, Allah over what we say is witness. 67. And he said, O my sons, do not enter from one gate, but enter from a different gate. And I cannot avail you against the decree of Allah at all. The decision only for Allah. Upon him I have relied, and upon him let those who have rely indeed rely. 68. And when they entered from where their father had ordered them, it did not avail them against Allah at all, except it was a need or concern with the soul of Jacob, which he satisfied. And indeed he was possessor of knowledge because of what we had taught him, but most of the people do not know. 69. And when they entered upon Joseph, he took his brother to himself. He said, Indeed, I am your brother, so do not despair over what they used to do to me. 70. So when he had furnished them with their supplies, he put the gold measuring bowl into a bag of his brother. Then an announcer called out, O caravan, indeed you are thieves. 71. They said while approaching them, What is in you missing? 72. They said, We are missing the measure of the king, and for he who produces it is the reward of a camel's load, and I am responsible for it. Footnotes. For them, or one obtained us with ease. 73. They said, By Allah, you have certainly known that we did not come to cause corruption in the land, and we have not been of thieves. 74. The accusers said, Then what would be its recompense if you should be liars? 75. The brothers said, Its recompense is that he is whose bag it is found, he himself will be the recompense. Thus do we recompense the wrongdoers. 76. And he began to search with their bags before the bag of his brother. Then he extracted it from the bag of his brother. Thus did we plan for Joseph. He could not have taken his brother within the religion, i.e. law of the king, except that Allah willed. We raise into Greece whom we will, but over every possessor of knowledge is one more knowing. 77. They said, if he steals a brother of his ass, stolen before, but Joseph kept it within himself and did not reveal it to them. He said, you are worse in position, and Allah is most knowing of what you describe. 78, they said, O Aziz, indeed he has a father who is an old man, so take one of us place of him. Indeed, we see you as a doer of good. 79, he said, I seek the refuge of Allah to prevent that we take except him with whom we found our possession. Indeed, we found them to be unjust. 80, so when they had despaired him, they secluded themselves in private consultation. The eldest of them said, do you not know that your father has taken upon you an oath by Allah that before you have failed in your duty to Joseph? Footnotes. The punishment of theft. According to the law, a convicted thief was made a slave of the one whom he had stolen. Ending with the ultimate knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he did not answer that he himself had been stolen by them from his father, addressing Joseph, but now he held the title of Al-Aziz. Will never leave this land until my father permits me or Allah decides for me, and he is the best of judges. 81. Return to your father and say, O our father, indeed your son has stolen, and we did not testify except to what we knew, and we were not witnesses of the unseen. 82. And ask the city in which we were, in the caravan in which we came, and indeed we are truthful. 83. Jacob said, rather your souls have enticed you to something, so patience is most fitting. Perhaps Allah will bring them to me altogether. Indeed, it is he who is knowing of the wise. 84. And when he turned away from them and said, oh, my sorrow over Joseph, and his eyes become white from grief, for he was of that a suppressor. They said, by Allah, you will not cease remembering Joseph until you become fatally ill or become of those who perish. 86. He said, I only complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you do not know. 87. O my sons, go and find out about Joseph and his brother, and despair not of relief from Allah. Indeed, no one despairs of relief from Allah except the disbelieving people. 88. So when they entered upon him, i.e. Joseph, they said, O Aziz, adversity has touched us and our family, and we have come with goods poor in quality, but give us full measure and be charitable to us. Indeed, Allah rewards the charitable. 89. He said, do you know what you did with Joseph and his brother when you were ignorant? 90. They said, are you indeed Joseph? He said, I am Joseph, and this is my brother. Allah has certainly favored us indeed. Footnotes, i.e. in my favor, bringing about the release of Benjamin. i.e. we could not have known when we gave you the oath that he would steal and be apprehended. i.e. he lost his sight. He did not express the extent of his grief or his anger that he suspected his sons had done, but was patient, depending only upon Allah for help. He who fears Allah and is patient, then indeed Allah does not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good. 91. They said, by Allah certainly has preferred over us, and indeed we have been sinners. He said, 92, he said, no blame will there be upon you today. May Allah forgive you, and he is the most merciful of the merciful. 93, take this, my shirt, and cast it over the face of my father. He will become seen, and bring me your family all together. 94, and when the caravan departed from Egypt, their father said, indeed, I find the smell of Joseph, and would say that he was alive, and if you did not think me weakened in mind. 95, they said, by Allah, indeed you are in the same old error. 96, and when the bearer of good tidings arrived, he cast it over his face, and he returned once again seeing. He said, did I not tell you that I know from Allah that which one you do not know? 97, they said, O our Father, ask for our forgiveness of our sins. Indeed, we have been sinners. 98, he said, I will ask forgiveness for you from my Lord. Indeed, he who is forgiven and the merciful. 99, and when they entered upon Joseph, he took his parents to himself, i.e. embraced him and said, enter Egypt, Allah willingly safe and secure. 100, and he raised his parents upon the throne, and they bowed to him in prostration, and he said, oh my father, this is the explanation of my vision of before. My Lord has made it reality, and he has certainly good to me when he took me out of prison and brought you here in Bedouin life after Satan had induced estrangement between me and my brothers. Footnotes: to those who present with him, either some of his sons or other relatives, he who carried Joseph's shirt from among the brothers, that of greeting and respect, which was lawful until the time of Prophet Muhammad, prostration to any person or object other than Allah was then prohibited conclusively. Indeed, my Lord is subtle in what he wills. Indeed, it is he who is knowing the wise. 101, my Lord, you have given me something of sovereignty and taught me of the interpretation of dreams. Creator of the heavens and earth, you are my protector in this world and the hereafter. Cause me to die a Muslim and join me with the righteous. 102, that is from the news of the unseen which we reveal, O Muhammad, to you, and you were not with them until they put together their plan when they conspired. 103, and most of the people, although you strive for it, are not believers. 104, and you do not ask of them for any payment, it is not except the reminder of the worlds. 105, and how many a sign with heavens and earth do they pass over while they therefore are turning away. 106, and most of them believe not in Allah except while they associate others with him. 107, and they do feel secure that there will not come to them an overwhelming aspect of punishment of Allah, or that the hour will not come upon them suddenly when they do not perceive. 108, say, this is my way. I invite to Allah with insight. I and those who follow me, and exalted is Allah, and I am not of those who associate others with him. 109, and we sent not before you as messengers except men to whom we revealed among the people of cities. So have they not traveled through the earth and observed how was the end of those before them? And the home of the hereafter is the best of those who fear Allah. Then will you not reason? 110, they continued until when the messengers despaired and were certain that they had been denied, there came to them our victory, and whoever we willed was saved, and our punishment cannot be repelled from the people who are criminals. 111, there was certainly in their stories a lesson for those understanding. Never was it, i.e. the Quran, a narration invented, but a confirmation of what was before it, and a detailed explanation of all things and guidance and mercy for people who believe. We've made it to another surah. Surah Ar-Raid. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Number 1, Alif Lam Mim Ra. These are the verses of the book, and what has been revealed to you from your Lord is the truth, but most of the people do not believe. 2, it is Allah who erected the heavens without pillars that you can see. Then he established himself upon the throne and made the subject, the sun and the moon, each running its course for a specified term. He arranges each matter. He details the signs that you may of the meeting with the Lord be certain. Number 3, and it is he who spread the earth and placed therein firmly set mountains and rivers from all the fruits. He made therein 2 meats. He causes the night to cover the day. Indeed, that are the signs for a people who give thought. 4. And within the land are neighboring plots and gardens of root and or otherwise watering with one another. Water. But we make some of them exceed others in quality of fruit. Indeed, that are the signs for a people who reason. Number 5, and it is you astonished, O Muhammad. The astonishing is their saying, when we are dust, we will indeed be brought into new creation. Those are the ones who have disbelieved in their Lord, and those will have shackles upon their necks, and those are the companions of the fire. They will abide therein eternally. Number 6, they impatiently urge you to bring about evil before good. Footnotes, Ra, thunder. See footnote to 2:1. See footnote to 2:19 and 7:54. for the benefit of mankind, i.e., only from a root, at those who deny resurrection, iron collars to their hands are chained. They said, challenging the prophet in ridicule, bring on the punishment if you are truthful, rather than asking for the mercy forgiveness from Allah, while there has already occurred before them similar punishments to what they demand. And indeed your Lord is the possessor of forgiveness for the people despite their wrongdoing, and indeed your Lord is severe in penalty. Number 7, and those who disbelieve say, why has the sign not been sent down to him from the Lord? You are only a warner, and for every people is a guide. 8, Allah knows what every female carries, and what the wombs lose prematurely or exceed, and everything with him is by due measure. Number 9, he is knower of the unseen and witness the grand and exalted. Number 10, it is the same to him concerning you, whether one conceals his speech and publicizes it, and whether one is hidden by night, conspicuous among others by day. 11, for him, i.e. one, are successive angels before and in behind, who protect him by the decree of Allah. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. And when Allah intends for a people ill, there is no repelling it, and there is not for them besides him patron. Number 12, it is he who shows you lightning, causes fear and aspiration, and generates the heavy clouds. Number 13, and the thunder exalts Allah with praise in him, and the angels as well for him. And he sends thunderbolts and strikes therewith whom he wills, while they dispute about Allah, and he is severe in assault. Footnotes, with absolute knowledge, inclusive of every aspect of the fetus existence, beyond their normal period of pregnancy, and or the number of fetuses therein, replacing each other by turn. The phrase may also be rendered, who guard him from everything except the decree of Allah, i.e. punishment or destruction because of their sins. 14, to him alone is the supplication of truth, and those they call upon besides him do not respond to them while there is a thing except as one who stretches his hand towards water afar, calling it to reach his mouth, but it will not reach us, and the supplication of the disbelievers is not but error and futility. 15, and to Allah prostrates whoever is within the heavens and the earth, willingly or by compulsion, and their shadows as well as in the mornings and in the afternoons. 16, say, who is the Lord of the heavens and earth? Say, Allah. Say, have you taken besides him allies, not possessing even for themselves any bit of any harm? Say, is the blind equivalent to the seeing, or is darkness equivalent to light? Or have they attributed to Allah's partners who created the like his creation, so that the creation of each seems similar to them? Say, Allah is the creator of all things, and he is the one of the prevailing. 17, he sends down from the sky rain, and valleys flow according to the capacity, and the torrent carries a rising foam, and from the ore which they heat the fire, desiring adornments and utensils is a foam like it. Thus Allah presents the example of truth and falsehood. As for the foam, it vanishes being cast off, but as for that which benefits the people, it remains on the earth. Does not Allah present examples? 18, for those who have responded to their Lord is the best reward, but those who did not respond to him, if they had all that is in the earth entirely, and the like of it with it, they would attempt to ransom themselves thereby. Those will have the worst account, and the refuge is hell, and wretched is the resting place. 19, then it is he who knows that what has been revealed to you from your Lord is the truth, like the one who is blind. They will only be reminded who are people of misunderstanding. Footnotes, the analogy indicates that false deities will never respond to them at all. The obvious conclusion is that the claimed partners have no ability to create, cannot be compared to Allah in any way. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.